poem was fan-fiction, it's a homophobic kind of. Remember, it's just a fan-fiction, don't take it seriously. And if I do any mistake in voice paper, please forgive me. Namjin, they both were eye-gazing each other deeply, showing a lot of emotion. They both broke the eye contact when the man standing beside Namjin interrupted them saying, "Do you know Mr. Kim personally?" "Oh, yes, Jackson. Actually, he is Kim Kim, my mother's friend's son." "Oh, it's nice to meet you, Mr. Kim. I'm Jackson Wang, Mr. Kim's assistant." "Hello, Mr. Wang. Nice to meet you too." "It's fine if you call me by my name, Mr. Kim." "Well, please be seated." Jin sat in front of Namjin when he too said they both were feeling awkward with each other because they did not expect to meet again like this because Namjin didn't know that the professor Mr. Lee recommended it to him. It was Jackson who knew about it, as he was the one who asked Mr. Lee to help him. Jackson then ordered something to eat for them, and they started discussing about the project in which they need Jin's. Namjin knew very well about Jin's skills as he already helped him once with his book, and without any second thought, he got ready to work with him. But somewhere from inside, he is feeling a bit weird. Namjin pointed at him. "I don't know, but I'm feeling right now. Am I happy to see you again? I'm feeling kinda awkward. I don't know why. Is it because you confessed or only I know how I spent these 2 weeks without proper sleep. I couldn't stop myself thinking about it. Why? I still have someone in my heart and I cannot stop loving him. But at the same time, you're here. I thought it was just an attraction and I'll not have these feelings when you're not here around. But I was fine. I was thinking about you. I was having a thought. You're here. I know my presence is making you nervous because I rejected your feelings. But wait, I never rejected you. It was just, I didn't say anything. But that was all of a sudden and I didn't know what I should grasp. You must be feeling hurt because I left without clearing anything. But what I was supposed to do at that time, I don't know. Should I apologize? But I still didn't get the right answer. I just gave you. Why it's becoming difficult to say no when I already rejected so many proposals without having second thoughts? Namjin was completely lost in his thought that he didn't hear Jackson was calling him for a long time. He thinks when Jackson called him a little louder. "Mr. Kim, are you alright?" Yes. What did you say?" "I'm asking, should we sign the agreement?" Yes, of course. If Mr. Kim is ready then." Namjin spoke, looking at Jin, who just gave a slight smile, signed the agreement, which says that Jin will work for almost 2 months with them as an advisor. Jin knew it will not be easy for him to work with Namjin, and the reason is his feelings. He is just afraid to get hurt and hurting someone because of his feelings. But he couldn't lie as Mr. Lee has the faith in him, which he didn't want to break. They talked some more about the work. Only Jackson and Jin were talking. Namjin was mostly silent all the time. "It's really nice talking to you, Mr. Kim. I hope it will be a great journey with you." "I hope so, Mr. Wang. I'll definitely do my best." They did a handshake while standing up. Namjin would stand up when Jin raised his hand for a handshake. As their hands touched with each other, they felt a different kind of relief, like it's just enough for them. They both eye-gazed each other and their hands weren't leaving each other. They both didn't know that they'll have to work with each other officially. They were just trying to figure it out what destiny wants. Time skipped. Next morning, Jin reached at the building of the company. After parking his car in parking area, he called Jackson as he will tell him all his work. It's gonna be 2 months and in these 2 months, no one knows what will happen. Jin pointed to him. "I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm still feeling upset because that day he left without even talking. I know he doesn't have any feelings for me, but I deserve an answer at least. And I don't know if I should bring that matter now or not, but I'll have to clear him with him. Because I don't want any kind of distraction in this work. I don't want him to think that I have feelings for him, that's why I'm working with him. I don't want him to think like this. Maybe I should just clear him. Then Jackson came there and they both sat towards Namjin's office. They arranged another chair there for Jin beside Namjin as they will work together. Jin was trying to focus, but he really wanted to talk to Namjin. But Jackson was there with them working, so he couldn't get a chance. It's lunchtime when Jackson left to have his lunch, and it was a good opportunity for Jin to talk to him. They also were having their lunch together when there was an awkward silence in between them. Jin then cleared his throat and gathered the courage to speak. I want to talk to you something really important. He said straight, looking at Namjin, who faced him and didn't say anything. This was indicating Jin to say further. I want to clear it because I don't want us to be uncomfortable while working together, as it's official and nothing is personal here. The things happened in the past were personal and I don't want them to affect his professional work. I hope I'm clear. Namjin was too surprised to see Jin's confidence level because he himself wasn't this much confident to talk like this, and that too after what happened earlier. No doubt he always admired his side, but somewhere his heart was indicating him something else which he was avoiding. Namjin just nodded and they finished their lunch. Time skipped. It's been now 3 days they are working together and everything is going well. But somewhere the eyepiece makes them both nervous, but they are two professionals of sorts. Now they both are working together, sitting beside each other on the couch, but in a safe distance. Then Namjoon came there after knocking on the door and said, "Mr. Kim, I wanted to ask you something." Both Namjin looked up at him with raised eyebrows. Jackson became a little confused because Namjin thought he was calling by him, so did Jin. I was calling. Oh, you both are Kim. My bad. Actually, I was calling you Mr. Kim Jackson. Oh, yes, Jackson. How may I help you? Mr. Kim, actually, I got some problem here. He showed Jin the laptop, but before looking at that, he said, "You can call me Young or by my name Jackson." But Mr. Kim, he once glanced at Namjoon, whose eyes were on them already, and then looked at Jin nervously. "It's okay if you call me Young. Moreover, I'm not an employee here, right?" "Oh, yes, I almost forgot." He nervously smiled because Namjoon's silence was killing him from inside because he's the person who is loud about professionalism. But finding him quiet is quite abnormal. Then Jin cleared the thing where Jackson was puzzled and the day passed. It's almost lunchtime when Namjoon is busy in a meeting hall, and here Jin is sitting on the chair in his room. He was almost free today as the meeting was going on. Jin then shifted his gaze on the chair where Namjoon sat. He sighed and made his way towards the chair and thus a neck of it, feeling Namjoon's presence there when he puts his head back on its neck. Jin glared back and closed his eyes. He knows that it's difficult for him to act up in front of the man who always makes him go crazy with just one gaze. The man whose one gaze is enough to make him mad. Yes, it's hurting him, but no one can even sense it because of his smile on his face. He already knew these 2 months will be hard for him, and it's just only 3-4 days now. He started working with him. He blinked all of a sudden when the door was opened and he found Jackson standing there. He came inside and Jin also walked towards his chair and sat on it. "Young, you must be hungry, right?" "Not that much. Where is Mr. Kim?" "I guess he's still in the meeting hall." "Weren't you with him?" "How I was supposed to when I was out for some work." "Oh, I almost forgot. So you wanna wait for Mr. Kim? to come or join me in the cafeteria? He said in almost a teasing tone. Namjin just chuckled and replied, why would I wait? Let's grab something tasty. Then they both left in the cafeteria while chit-chatting randomly. On the other side, Namjin pointed of view. I came inside my room, then found no one. I felt so strange, no seeing there. I called the receptionist who sits outside of my room and asked her, Rasina, where is Mr. King? Oh, he left in cafeteria, Mr. King. Cafeteria? Alone? Anya, Mr. King with Mr. Van. Oh, now you can leave me to him. We both and left. Then I felt a strange feeling inside my heart. I don't know what should I name it. Am I feeling bad because he left to eat with Jackson? But he used to eat with me, wasn't he? How can he go without telling me? What the hell I'm thinking? He can do whatever he wants. Why should I feel bothered? He's not an employee here who needs my permission. And if he would be, then still I don't own anyone's personal life. Why am I feeling so bothered? Should I go and check? But why should I? He couldn't stop himself and left towards the cafeteria. Before Kidding can tell some other reason to visit the cafeteria when he thought knew that he was going to see their gym. But still his mind was giving excuses that he should check the food quality and some other arrangements there as a senior. But if you know, right? Sometimes we give excuses when we want to do something or don't want to. That's a human nature though. Namjin reached the cafeteria when every single employee was looking at him in disbelief because it was something unusual they were watching. For new employees, it was the first time he came there in 2 years, but who were all, they knew it thrilled and amazed to see their boss again like this after 2 years. The employees bowed towards them and some were about to stand when he indicated them to stay sit and keep on eating. He didn't know that he already knew his way towards Jackson and Jim, who were also aware of him coming there. Jackson was about to stand, but Namjin told him to sit. I'm sorry, Mr. King. I thought you were busy, so I came here. It's okay. I will order something for you, Mr. King. Please wait for some seconds. I will later. Huh? He asked with a hung-open mouth because he thought his ears weren't working properly, as Namjin didn't come to eat in cafeteria for about 2 years. But did you just cannot eat here? No. It's all yours, Mr. King. I'll be back in just few minutes. Please wait. He said and left to bring some food for Namjin. After minutes, he came back with some food for Namjin and placed that on the table and stood straight. When Namjoon's voice again interrupted him, while still standing, sit. After getting his words, Jackson too sat there, and they three had the lunch together. Time was passing in its usual speed, but for Namjoon, it's running a marathon, and he is always busy in his work, and he doesn't get time to have a nice talk with Jim. And something from inside is troubling him. In some days, Jackson and Jim became good friends. They always talked and laughed while walking and eating and spent a quality time. Namjoon feels so weird seeing them together with each other. He knows that he is having a feeling of jealousy, but still he is denying it again and again. Maybe because he is still holding his past and it makes him feel like he is slipping on him. That's one of the reasons he is insecure to accept the fact that the destiny is indicating him that he is the right one for him. These things are messed up in his mind and bothering him a lot. And somewhere he's overthinking about Jim and Jackson's relationship as they become so close and spend almost all the time together. He feels so ignorant in between them, which is also a reason for him to deny the indications of his heart. Here, Jin came inside the office building and stood in front of the lift just to wait for it to open. Some other employees were also standing there. He was tapping his foot on the floor. Then his eyes fell on Namjoon, who also came there and stood. They both greeted each other. Then Jin felt like his heart stopped beating. When he looked at Namjoon up to down, he was looking extra hot today in his all-black clothes. His muscular chest was fighting with the black high-neck t-shirt under his black coat. Jin moved his eyes to other side, not to look at him more. Just then the elevator opened. All the employees waited for Namjoon to went inside. Namjoon went inside it and Jin also. They both stood at a distance. Then Namjoon indicated the other employees to get inside. They all politely bowed and also stepped inside. But the lift was now crowded when Jin and Namjoon were close to each other. Namjoon moved towards Jin, whose back was touching the elevator wall behind, and he was almost entrapped in between Namjoon and the wall. The elevator door opened when 2-3 more employees got in, which made Namjoon more close to Jin. Namjoon rested his hands on the wall to manage a distance so that their bodies won't touch when they were already touching slightly. Namjoon looked away, not to make Jin uncomfortable, who was standing there like a statue. Both were feeling their breath hitched and so left the body. Jin clutched on his pants and closed his eyes. He was trying to calm his heart, which was beating loudly in his chest, and there, Namjoon was also trying his best not to lean on Jin more. The elevator again stopped when some employees went out. Like this, all the employees went out, just Namjoon and 2 other employees were now left in the elevator. Namjoon immediately took some steps back and stood straight without looking at Jin. They both also went out when the elevator stopped on the floor where the office is. They both were feeling a bit awkward because it was unexpected to be happy. The whole day, they both avoid eye contact with each other because they knew it can make the situation more awkward. Silently lounging point of view, I was walking through the corridor towards my room when my eyes caught something. I paused and fully gazed at the screen through the glass door. My eyes caught him laughing and smiling. I wondered what made him laugh like this. Then my eyes fell on Becky, who was sitting in front of him, saying something. I felt a burning sensation inside me all of a sudden, and I fastened my steps to get inside. I opened the door of the room with a loud crack, which made them eye at me with a fear. I don't know, I just made my way towards my chair and sat on it, throwing my head back on the left of the chair, closing my eyes. I don't know, this feeling is making me frustrated. I don't know what's going on inside me, but it's just happening. Here, Jackie and Jin were confused why Namjoon is in a bad mood. Jin signaled Jackie to talk to Namjoon if he is alright. Jackie made his way towards Namjoon with huge yet calm steps and stood against him. He is well known of Namjoon's mood, and sometimes it's scary to talk to him when he feels disturbed. Somehow, Jackie gathered the courage and said, are you alright? Do you need any kind of help? No, just leave me alone for some time. He said in his deep yet calm voice, and he didn't want to shout or lose his control. Jackie just paused and left when Namjoon was still closing his eyes. Jin also stood and left as he heard Namjoon saying that he wants some time alone. Almost a month passed and Namjoon was feeling so stressed because of his own feelings. This he was denying for a long time. He knew he was jealous when he saw Jin and Jackie together. But his stubborn mind was taking over his heart. Namjoon and Jin's closeness was killing him and making him frustrated to lose his control. Every time he used to see them having a cute conversation and smiling, laughing at each other, when Jin never smiled at him, was poking him. And on the other side, he was thinking that Namjoon didn't care about anything. Namjoon's cold nature and silence is making him feel that Namjoon really doesn't have any feelings for him. seemed inside Dustin's cabin after meeting. He found doing some work on a file. They both smiled at each other, then Dustin put the file down and offered him to sit in front of him. Taking the chance, he wanted to ask something, then he said, "Do you want to ask something now?" "Oh, yes. Actually, I wanted to ask where is the chicken? I mean, you didn't show up today." "Oh, the chicken? Actually, visited today and he went to..." He stopped in the middle, making him furrow his eyebrows, looking and said, "Maybe you don't know about him, but I know about him." "Really? How do you know?" "I heard from Mrs. Singh. He liked it if we didn't want to tell him that Namjin himself told me about him." "Oh, actually, today he's back on yesterday and Mr. Kingman to visit his grave as Saturday is. I hope you're fine." He said and looked at his face, which was feeling more down. Dusty noticed it and again spoke. "Are you okay now?" "Huh? Oh, yes. Can I ask you something now?" "Go ahead." "What's actually going on in between you and Mr. King? I mean, it didn't seem normal in between you two." It's nothing. I know there's something, but I don't want to force you to share with me. But I can sense Mr. King's weird behavior around you. I think he's getting attracted towards you, huh? But no, he cannot. Right? Look at yourself. You're handsome, independent, and young. I know that, but he isn't into me. He already rejected me when he stopped in middle and realized what he spit out, and looking at Jackson's suspicious yet confused eyes. He rejected you? When? Where? Jim sighed and told him everything, because he knew Jackson is a trusted person. Jackson heard everything quietly and said, "So, this all happened in between you two." They nodded and Jackson thought something for a while, then spoke. "Then why don't you make me jealous?" "Jealous? Oh, there's no use of doing something like this. You can make someone jealous when he has some feelings for you. And he..." "However, I'm here just for one more month. Maybe it's just a girl for you." "I don't think so, young. And I'm feeling jealous over you. I felt he's jealous over us. I mean, he gets jealous when we are together. Stop overthinking and let's do some work." But remember what I said." On the other side, we are Namjin sitting in front of Ellen's door after taking some fresh flowers home. He smiled weakly when he remembered the precious time they both spent together, and now it's feeling like he could suffer. He lowered his head when the teardrop fell down his face. His feelings are taking over him. The confusion, frustration, and guilt is taking over his mind. Guilt of not keeping his promise to be loyal to his loved one, because he knows that Jim is somewhere making this way in his house. He is feeling like sitting on Tehran. Why Tehran? Why I'm stuck in this situation? I'm sitting on you. How can I do it, Tehran? I promised you. Then why I'm not able to keep that promise now? When you are in my heart, then why Jim? I'm so frustrated now. He sighed and wiped his tears before standing up. He turned to leave when a familiar figure caught his attention. It's Theon's mother. He saw her and bowed. She smiled a little and walked to keep some flowers on the tree. He turned and looked at Namjin. She stepped towards him and patted his head. She knew how much her son loved Namjin and Namjin him. It made her tear up. Her son's memories flashed in her mind, and she said, "Good to see you after a long time, son. You're still loyal to him, even after his death. But for how long you will live like this? Your whole life is waiting for you. It's been now 3 years. He left us and can never come back. He must be happy in his life, wherever he would be." Namjin looked at her, holding his tears back. You're like my son, and I don't want to see you suffering like this. And loyalty doesn't mean to not let anyone come in your heart, but it means to remember them keeping in your heart and live happily. She said, and left from there after patting his shoulder. After that day, Namjin understood that he is really falling for her. The feelings he was avoiding till now, he started accepting them, but their distance was like before. He was trying to accept the fact as it wasn't as easy to accept for him. Now he's laying backwards on his chair while thinking about Jim deeply. Then he felt a pair of hands around his head. He opened his eyes and found him standing there, smiling. Namjin just looked at him silently, and he pressed his long fingers on his forehead to give it a little massage. Just then, he heard someone calling him, and he opened his eyes. He looked around and found Jackson standing there. He didn't find Jim anywhere. Then he realized that was probably his dream. He internally slapped himself and asked him for what he came there. Time skip next day. It's 3 in the afternoon when Jim is focused on his work as he is researching over the project Namjin hired him for. He is all focused when he felt like someone looking at him for a long time. He gazed up and found Namjin's eyes on him. His heart skipped a beat when their eyes collided. Namjin looked away, being all flustered as Jim caught him staring at him. He looked at the file which he was holding, but his mind was still stuck in Jim's head. Namjin in mind. Gosh, why it's so hard? Should I tell him what I'm feeling for him? But all of a sudden, what if he rejected him as I did? But wait, I never rejected him. It was just I didn't reply him of his confession. But still, I guess it would be rude. God. After 1 hour, Jim done his work and looked up at Namjin. He then stood up with his laptop and walked towards him. Namjin? Huh? Yes? Here I found something which can help us a lot. He said and kept his laptop on the table and showed the screen to Namjin, who looked at it, nodding his head. I've also made some other strategies to make it work. Here it is. He said and bent over the table, putting his fingers on the laptop keyboard. Namjin was on the page as he could clearly see his side profile, which was still talking. He couldn't take his eyes off him when he was busy explaining something, which was now unheard for Namjin. His eyes were facing Jim's features. Jim also gazed at him after explaining and found him still staring at him. He raised his hand in front of Namjin's eyes and waved it when Namjin snapped back and cleared his throat. Is it good? Huh? I'm asking about the idea. Are you okay with it? Yes, of course, it's good. He lied, but the thing is, he didn't hear a single word. Okay, then I should leave. He was about to walk when Namjin immediately stood and held his breath, making him stop. On the way looking at Namjin, he did question eyes. Anything else? Actually, I want to tell you something important. Just then, Jim's phone started buzzing. He pulled out his mobile from his pocket and asked if his mother called. This for a while, Namjin. He sat and picked up the call while making his way outside. Hello, Oma. How? Jim, we cannot find time anywhere. She said hurriedly with a worry in her voice, cutting Jim's words in the middle. Jim stopped there and gasped. What do you mean? We cannot find him. He must be there somewhere. We found him in the whole house and outside also, but he's not anywhere, Jim. Are you kidding me, Mom? It's not a time to fun. Why would I lie? Jim, what if something happened to him? Oma, listen. I'm coming there just now. We will find him, okay? Don't worry, I'm coming. He cut the call and looked up at Namjin, who was already standing there in front of him when he guessed something unexpected. What happened? Where are you going? I need to urgently go back to Russian. He is not at home. What? Where did he go? I don't know. Oma told he's nowhere to be found. I need to go now. Wait, I'll also come with you. No, I'll go by myself, and it's nothing to do with him. It is. If it's related to you, then it is. Moreover, Taeyong is like a brother to me. We will find him together. He said and held Jin's hand without wasting much time and dragged him outside, whistling. He sat inside his car on the driver's seat along with Jin beside him. He started the car and rushed out of there. Jin was filling the tank. It was also noticed by Namjin. Should we take the flight? I don't know. Do whatever. I cannot understand. But if he would be in a trouble, nothing will happen to him here. Just don't overthink, okay? He said, putting his hand on Jin's softly, giving him strength. Jin nodded, but the fear of Taeyong being hurt was killing him. Moreover, that's okay. It's not even easy for Taeyong to go in any public place due to his phobia, and if he would, it can affect his health. He was thinking about Taeyong. Just then, he remembered something, and he whispered, Namjin, I remember something. What are you saying, Jin? Say clearly, I cannot hear your voice. Stop the car. Namjin once glanced at him, and then again looked away. What are you saying, Jin? We will get late. I said stop the car. Namjin parked the car aside on the lane and looked at him. I remember something. What? I just had a pendant. It must be with me. Then, what about that? I've put a tracker on that before giving that to him. I asked him to never take that off. It's good. If he's wearing that, then we can find him. Jin nodded and pulled out his phone and tracked the ivy of Taeyong's necklace. He asked Namjoon to drive so that they can locate. As the location showed up on the screen, Jin got confused and shocked at the same time. Namjoon, it's showing Seoul's location. What? Are you sure you tracked the right ID? Of course I did. Then tell me the location. It's moving, look. He showed Namjoon the location, then Namjoon looked ahead after looking at the screen. Keep telling me where it's moving, okay? Maybe we are not that far. Then Namjoon focused on the driving and Jin was keep telling him the location. It's been now 20 minutes they are tracking. All of a sudden Jin got a call from his mother and he hurriedly picked that up. He told her mother that they found Taeyong's location and soon will reach there. His parents also left towards Seoul after hearing that Taeyong is in Seoul. Jin again looked at the location, which was now far from them, but he was still confused why it's moving inside the city. Then it stopped moving and Jin kept telling Namjoon. Namjoon was also confused by this location because it's somehow familiar. He stopped the car aside and took Jin's mobile in his hands. He looked at the location, then faced Jin's eyes. Now I wonder, why is it showing here? It's showing Seoul University. But why? I mean, let's go. He pulled the gear and within just some minutes, he stopped the car and they both got down. Jin again saw the location and it was right inside the university. Should I tell you now? What? Jungkook studies here. What? Really? That means? If you're right then. They both then went inside and followed the location. They stopped in front of a room and looked at each other. Without knocking, they went inside and saw Taekook hugging each other like there's no tomorrow. Jin put his hand on his forehead, covering it along with his eyes in embarrassment. They both were not surprised seeing them do like this because they already knew what's going on in between them. But thing right now was different. Both Taekook parted away and flinched when their eyes fell on Namjoon, who was standing there like they will eat them alive. They both exclaimed at the same time. Yo, what you two are doing here? He asked nervously when Namjoon walked closer to them. Jin crossed his arm on his chest and looked at Taeyong with that glare, who immediately looked down. We all were worried for you and you are here with him. Sorry, what You literally scared the hell out of me. Couldn't you tell Lama Appa that you want to meet him? I just wanted to meet him, he said, pouting sadly while looking down when Jungkook also spoke. Did you come without telling anyone? How can you? Taekook's eyes became teary when he felt his mistake and now everyone will scold him. He uttered with tears in his eyes. I just wanted to meet you. I didn't mean to make anyone worry. Why you are scolding me like this? He said almost crying when Jungkook couldn't hold back and hugged him softly to not let him cry. I'm not scolding you here. I'm just worried. You should haven't come alone. What if something would happen to you? See, Hyunsoo also worried. Please promise you won't make us worried for you in the future. I promise I won't. Please forgive me. Forgive me, Hong, for making you worried about me. He said, breaking the hug while looking at Jin, who immediately hugged him, embracing him in his arms and caressed his head. Do you know how much tensed I got? Someone loves you so much. I cannot afford losing you. Taeyong hugged Jin more tightly, snuggling his head in his chest. He knows how much Jin loves him and cares for him. After some time, they all left from there in Namjin's car. Namjin first drove Taejin and left towards his house with Jungkook. Next day, here Namjoon is desperately looking at the glass door. His eyes aren't leading the way as he's waiting for Jin to come. Anyone can feel his desperation in his eyes. Then the moment came when his eyes got pressed after seeing Jin. He maintained his as usual posture when Jin entered inside after knocking. They both greeted each other and Jin stopped when Namjoon asked him, is Taeyong okay? He's all good. And you? He asked looking straight in Jin's eyes, who felt his heart started beating faster when Namjoon asked this question. It was the first time Namjoon asked him something like this. After joining here with him, he controlled his smile and said, I'm also fine. I'm just a bit tired because Papa also came yesterday. Oh, they came. That's good. Then you should have asked for a holiday in that case. Anya, they will stay for some more days here. Oh, okay. Jin nodded and was about to turn but stopped again when he remembered something. Well, you were saying something yesterday. What was that? That was about the research team. I was thinking if you need anyone beside you. Oh, well, I don't. He said and walked to his chair and sat there while releasing a sigh. Jin in mind. Why I always overthink? I thought he was going to confess yesterday. But what am even expecting? Just some more days. It's really getting difficult now. I'm just hoping the time to pass quickly. It would be better than hurting my feelings every day. Jin and his family are sitting around the dining table having their dinner. Then Taejin's mother said something grabbing their attention and they looked at her, still munching their food. I'm thinking of visiting Sarah. That's a good idea. I'm so excited. I will meet Jungkook again. Jin, won't you go, son? I'm not in a mood to go anywhere, Mom. Moreover, it's Sunday tomorrow and I want to rest. You should come with us. They will be happy to see you. After all, it will be a get-together of two families, right, Anji? Yes, it would be great. But please, Young, it will be fun, please. He said, showing his puppy eyes, which made Jin change his plan, and he got ready to go with them. Somewhere he wanted to go, but somewhere didn't, and the reason was Namjoon. Time skip the next day. The whole family was welcomed by Kims. Mr. and Mrs. Kim and Jungkook welcomed them with warming smiles and hugs. They all sat in the living room and started talking about some random things. They all were laughing and talking when Mrs. Kim was telling them about their college life, how they used to bunk classes and used to make excuses for not completing assignments. Hearing their laughing sound, Namjoon too came there to have a look what's actually happening there, as he didn't know that Jin's family was invited there in his house. He was in his casual look, wearing his shorts and spectacles on his eyes with a book in his hand, which he was reading in backyard. He looked at them all when they also gazed at him. His eyes automatically went on Jin, who was also looking at him. Namjin then realized that he is in his shorts and everyone is looking at him. It was embarrassing for him because he was standing in his shorts in front of his guests. It's actually embarrassing in real life as I have faced it. Son, go and get changed. Come down soon, okay? Namjoon didn't say a single word and ran upstairs in his room to change his clothes. He changed and again came there while politely bowing to them. He sat there with them, then Mr. Kim said, Namjoon, we want to talk something with you. I'm all ears, Papa. Mr. Kim first looked at Mrs. Kim, then said, while looking at him, actually, we have fixed your engagement with Jin. He said and looked at them both, who were like processing the words, which he spilled. After a good silence, Jin said, how can you? He said and looked at his parents like questioning them why they did it without his consent. How can you decide anything without asking me? And did you talk to him if he wants it or not? Jin, be enough, Amma. I'm sorry everyone, but I cannot do this. Or you cannot. You have feelings for him, then why? How do you know? I'm your mother, but still, I have feelings for him. That doesn't mean he also has. And you cannot force him to do anything. He faced them all, then lastly glanced at Namjoon before walking out. His mother tried to stop him, but Jin said, I'll go talk to him. He said and left behind Jin. Here they all looked at each other, being worried and curious too. What's happening in between them? Maybe a misunderstanding is working in between them? I'm sure they will sort it out. Jin moved out of the house hurriedly. He was feeling hurt because he didn't want something like this to happen. He knew that he loved Namjoon, but he never wanted to force him in anything. And the marriage stuff is really sort of him. He didn't want to make it worse. It was already hard for him to bear all the pain he was hiding from everyone. He was about to walk out, but suddenly a hand stopped him by grabbing his hand. He looked back and found Namjoon. Can we talk? Listen, Namjoon. I didn't know they came here with this plan. I also never told them about my feelings for you. I don't know why they did it. I swear it wasn't my intention. I'm really sorry for troubling you, but I promise it will never. He hauled on his face when he found himself in Namjoon's embrace. His heart could just beat when he felt Namjoon's hand around his waist. He couldn't believe what's happening. Can you please let me say anything? He said and parted off the hug. First of all, it won't be forced if you marry me. And the second thing is, who said I don't have feelings for you? Huh? But you loved him. Yes, it's true that he is still in my heart, and no one can replace him. But you made your own place in my heart too. You were in my mind since I first laid my eyes on you. You were always. But I was denying that. I was denying because I didn't want to get hurt. But I was hurting. I couldn't say anything when you confessed because I didn't know what I was feeling. I know I realized it late and I did hurt your feelings a lot. And it wasn't my intention. I was so confused about my feelings, but now I know what I feel for you. I fall for you, Jin. I don't know why, but I did. The way you understood everything. You never judged me. You were hurt but still didn't behave bad towards me. You never forced me in anything. It was all so pure and still is. He said all the things straight looking in Jin's eyes. Of course, he gathered a lot of courage to confess his feelings as it was really difficult, but he didn't want to hide it anymore. Jin felt his eyes become numb and a smile wrapped on his lips. Do you know how much courage I gathered to confess it? I was trying to confess for a few days but couldn't. I was so nervous. I didn't know how to say it. I didn't know what really say. And now I want you to please say something. He said, hoping Jin to say something, but he was all silent. But he got shocked of the action Jin did at the next second. He smashed his lips on Namjoon's, making him a bit shocked, but soon he responded and deepened the kiss while pulling him closer by his waist. The kiss was full of love without any desperation, lust, and no one used the tongue. It was deep and passionate, showing their true feelings, respect, and love for each other. After a minute, they parted and touched their foreheads while smiling. Thanks for choosing me. Thanks for still believing in me. I will always. They parted when they heard clapping sound from afar and found their family members standing there with their smiling faces. They all walked towards them when they both faced each other. Namjoon held Jin's hand and intertwined their fingers, making him a little blush. I guess now it's okay in between you. I'm really on 7 crowd. Finally I can see my son married. Auntie, please pinch me. I wanna know if it's really true or I'm dreaming. It's true, idiot. She pinched her when she is in pain a little. They all laughed. I knew we both will end up together. Didn't I tell you, Veer? I'm glad my both sons will come in your house after marriage. He said while looking at Mr. King, who hugged him while laughing. Of course, and don't worry, they'll be happy here. I know. Then, should we discuss about engagement? Oh, yes. Can we discuss now? She asked Namjin, who nodded while smiling. Time skipped. So many days passed and now Namjin were dating each other, but only their family members and Jackson knew about it, as they thought of waiting to tell everyone till their engagement. With a secret romance and taking care of each other, they almost forgot that the time of the contract now ended. They both knew Jin had to go back to his usual place and join again as a professor. Someday Namjoon didn't want him to go back, but as it's Jin's job and he didn't want to keep him with him just because he wants to. Jin also wanted to stay some more days, but he couldn't as he needed to join again as soon as possible. Here, Namjoon is sitting on the chair, throwing his head back on the chair, swinging on it. Then he felt someone's touch on his forehead. He knew it's Jin, as he's the one who always massages his head when no one is around. He opened his eyes when he saw the face, which always calmed him, no matter how much stressed he is. Jin is like a medicine, like an energy drink, which lit up his mood. His eyes stopped on Jin's face, who was busy rubbing his head with his fingers. Jin then said, "Don't worry, I'll be always here for you. But you know, I need to join, right?" Namjoon didn't say anything and pulled Jin on his lap with his one hand. Jin's cheeks turned red when he felt Namjoon's gaze on him, as their faces were too close. Namjoon grabbed his arms around his waist and pulled him more closer. Without giving any hint, he pressed his lips on Jin, who responded instantly. Namjoon started sucking his lips, which made Jin moan a little. Through his actions, he was showing Jin that he didn't want to leave him. Jin was kissing him back with the same passion. After a good minute of kissing, they parted when again Namjoon picked his lips, almost fighting them like he wants to eat them. He looked in Jin's eyes with his smoky dragon eyes and spoke. "You're mine, Mr. King. You don't need to remind me," he said, and also picked Namjoon's lips while biting them the same way Namjoon did. "Did you just bite my lip? So, cannot I? After all, you're mine." Namjoon smiled and spoke. "Do you want me to completely make you mine?" "I'm already yours, Mr. King," he said, making Namjoon chuckle, and he kissed on his forehead. After one day, Jin joined the university again and they both got busy in their own work. But this didn't distance their relation, even it got more stronger than before. They used to meet every weekend or whenever they were free. Sometimes they used to bicker with each other and also fought, but it was not stopping them loving each other. They used to fight, but They knew how to handle it and make everything better again. They were knowing each other more and accepting the way they actually are. Jackson entered inside Namjoon's room because he called him. He bowed and faced him when Namjoon spoke. Did you prepare what I told? Yes, Mr. Kim. Good. Jackson was about to leave but then stopped, hearing Namjoon's voice again. Oh, thank you so much for your help. It's nothing, Mr. Kim. Take care. He said, smiling, and left. Here, Jin was done with all his lectures and was walking towards his cabin when a person approached him. He gazed and inwardly sighed because he is a new professor here in the university and always roams around him. He always tries to hit on him, but Jin always ignores him, making excuses. Hi, Mr. Kim. What a coincidence. It was free at the same time. Oh, yes, Mr. Lee. Unfortunately. Well, I want to ask, if you're free this evening, then can we have a coffee together? He couldn't say further when they heard students started shouting loudly. They both went out of the corridor towards the ground and saw students were gathered there and they were hooting and shouting. They both looked at each other confusedly because students mostly do this kind of thing when you or any rich student get admission in the university. But it's the middle of the semester, plus it's almost an hour of university. They both then saw a black curtain. It was, of course, luxurious to make everyone roll over it. Jin gasped when his eyes fell on the person who came out of the car. The student started giving space when he walked towards Jin and stood in front of him. Jin couldn't take his eyes off him and whispered, Sonny? Namjoon smiled at him and leaned towards his face and said, How's the surprise, baby? He said when everyone there gasped and looking at them with their surprised faces. And poor Junior, his heart broke when he heard Namjoon calling Jin baby. What are you doing here like this? I wanted to surprise my soon-to-be husband. That's why I came. Husband? Yes, and who are you? Oh, I'm his colleague, Lee Junyoung. Oh, hi, I'm Kim Namjoon, Jin's soon-to-be husband. Well, I would like to take my husband somewhere, so please excuse us. Oh, yes, of course. Namjoon then held his hand in his and led him towards the car. He opened the door of the car for Jin, who sat inside without any words. Namjoon also went to other side and sat. Then the driver started the car and drove off from there. What was that? What? I mean, was that necessary? Yes, that was. Everyone should know that you belong to me. Now, no one will chase after you. Chase? Wait, are you talking about Jannah? Namjoon didn't say anything, just looked straight, making Jin chuckle. Are you jealous because he was trying to hit on you? No one can have the right to look at you like that. Only I can do that. I didn't know you are also a possessive man, but I loved it. By the way, where they are going? It's a surprise. Really? Seems like my soon-to-be husband is trying to be romantic day by day. I'm trying to do so many things. Do you want to know more? He said, leaning towards Jin's face, making him gulp over Namjoon's hair. He looked away, being all flustered when Namjoon again made him look at him when holding his chin with his fingers. He leaned to kiss him, but Jin turned his head towards the other side and spoke in a low voice. We are not alone here. He spoke, making Namjoon realize that the driver is also with them driving the car. Namjoon then controlled himself and sat back on his seat, but still he was holding Jin's hand in his, intertwining their fingers. Namjoon then took Jin on a date on a beach. It was a candlelight dinner date, and then Namjoon proposed him to marry him. After almost a month, they were engaged and then married after 2 months. After 4 months of their marriage, they came to know that Jin was pregnant and they all were really happy. On the other side, women were also expecting their first baby and Jimin too got pregnant. After years, Taekook also got married. Double joy came in their life when they all held on to each other and let each other on their way while holding hands.